are live. Yes, we're live. I wasn't sure when it was going to happen. Me and Nick were looking at each other like, when is it going to happen? But we're live with a World Series preview. Just an hour. This is basically like, listen, I love Fox. I love MLB Network. This is the true pregame show, okay? Ask Kevin Stocker. Ask Ricky Ricardo. Ask Matt Musico. Ask all the great listeners.
Joe Von Alford.
Yeah, Joe Von Alford. That's who they know. You know who the true pregame show is for the 2024 World Series. Nick, how you doing, buddy? We're ready for the World Series.
You know, I could be doing better if there was a certain team still playing instead of picking on college game days all weekend. I mean, the Phillies, Schwarber, Harper.
Oh, I know. I saw that.
Picking on all these game days, pregame show. Why can't they come on the shift and pick a game? Why not? I mean, but listen. Yeah, I mean, as a baseball fan, Yankees, Dodgers. I mean, come on.
This is it, man. This is it.
This is awesome.
Look. As much as awesome. And I want you to get into why you're kind of not excited in a second, because there are certain consequences for you if a certain team wins. We got to get into that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, how can you not be excited about the Yankees and the Dodgers? And honestly, Nick, the more and more I thought about it, I'm actually happier we get this and not a Subway Series. I don't think it's probably cute for the New Yorkers. I don't think it was going to be as big nationally as maybe I thought it would be. We wouldn't even know just because it hasn't happened, or it hasn't happened since 2000. So, but Nick, the more and more, I've thought about it over the last like 5 to 6 days. You're getting so many. We're going to get into this. This is kind of just a preview for tonight's show. There's so many, superstars. There are so many potential Hall of Famers. There's just a lot going on. You got the two legendary franchises, one, franchise, arguably, the most popular franchise in sports in the Yankees, 27 World Series, first World Series appearance since 2009. And then on the other side, you have the LA Dodgers, who have won 7 world championships, have some of the biggest, superstars and legends that have ever played in this game, going back to Koufax, going back to Duke Snider, Jackie Robinson, like all of these players, Kirk Gibson, with the 88 team, rest in peace, Fernando Valenzuela, who just passed away. Look at some of his numbers back in the early 80s. He was incredible. There's a reason why they called it, Fernando Mania. And then, now we're here with Ohtani versus Judge. And then you got Soto on the other side, Stanton. You got Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. It's really, Nick, it's really an incredible matchup, Nick. And I couldn't be more excited for this matchup starting tonight.
Yeah, 12th time these teams have met in the World Series. I mean, it's a classic, the battle of the coasts, right? East Coast versus West Coast. I mean, you have the two superstars, Judge, Ohtani, facing off. Two of the most legendary franchises in Major League Baseball history, facing off again. This is baseball wanted it, fans wanted it. This is top of the line stuff. Two of the top markets in all of baseball. So much better than Subway Series. Nobody cares about a Subway Series. It happened.
I take it back.
It happened once. Who cares? This is much better. This is the series people want to see. Once the LCSs kind of got resolved, you knew who was playing, who could go to the World Series. Everyone wanted the Yankees and Dodgers. No one wanted to see Cleveland in it again. Cleveland. Yeah. David French Fry. I mean, really? That's who they're going to set up there. I mean, come on. Big Christmas. No one.
Christmas. I kind of like that nickname. And I kind of like Noel, too. He's a good player.
They're solid players. Listen.
Yeah. I agree.
The real players. I mean, right now, you got star-studded lineups here. The Dodgers and the Yankees.
Yeah. This is Sinatra. This is Sinatra and
Elvis.
Elvis. I was going to say Tupac because that was the only West Coast artist I could think of offhand. Yeah, this is Biggie versus Tupac, Nick.
This is Coke versus Pepsi. This is Nike versus Under Armour. That's what it is.
Stop. No. I'm sorry, that was mean. That was actually a little aggressive. But Nick, so the first we have a loaded show for you tonight. It's gonna be really fun. It's all World Series. Pretty much everything Yankees and Dodgers. Up until we close it out when Nick gives me a little blind ranking. It's a World Series themed blind ranking. I gave him something last week, so he's going to give me something tonight. I'm excited. That's how we're going to close out this evening show as we get you set for game one. between the Yankees and Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. We will also preview Game 1 coming up in just a little bit. But first thing I want to get to, Nick, we've kind of already alluded to these here. Big World Series storylines. First one I'm going to start with, and I'll go first here. Most exciting and most anticipated World Series since blank. And for me, Nick, initially I was thinking maybe it was 2018 Red Sox Dodgers, but I think that was just too big. It was Red Sox, legendary franchise, Dodgers, legendary franchise, but not a whole lot going on there. Not too much besides that. Now you got Yankees, Dodgers. We've already gone into it. I would say biggest and most anticipated since Cubs Indians 2016. 100%. Or you agree?
Same one.
Yeah,
same one.
Yeah, I just think that World Series was exciting for obvious reasons. I mean, it lived up to the hype. It definitely lived up to the hype. And going into that series, you had the Cubs, hadn't won since 1908, right? And then Cleveland, who hadn't won since I think the late 40s, early 50s. And, for what it's worth, I think at that time, those were two exciting teams. Chicago was, Cleveland was. And that was, I think, the last World Series that actually pulled in people nationally. I don't think there's really been a World Series since then where, a lot of casual sports fans have tuned in. Not to say that no casual sports tune in, because I think they do because it's the World Series. But I think you get the point I'm trying to make. I don't think I think this one will definitely pull in people that aren't normally watching baseball, whether you're a Yankee fan, Dodger, or casual Dodger fan, maybe doesn't watch too often. I think this is the type of series that's going to pull people in. And I think this is probably the most exciting and anticipatory one since that series. I don't think we've had one really since then.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. That's why I held up my show sheet. 26. It's no doubt 2016. This is the most exciting, most anticipated matchup since then. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. Last year, one of the least viewed World Series ever. It was brutal. I mean, listen, all respect to the Rangers and the Diamondbacks, but
is there? Do we have respect? I mean, do we? No, I'm just kidding.
Last year, one of the least viewed television ratings. It was the least viewed in World Series history. An average of 9 million viewers. So people were not excited. And, I get it. Not a lot of superstars in that match. I mean, this is the World Series people are excited for. And going back to 2016, the Cubs and Cleveland, that was a series people were excited about because the Cubs hadn't won in so long, right? The curse, the drought, Bartman, the whole thing. Cleveland hadn't won in years and years as well. So, the whole thing, all those storylines going into it, people were invested. So I think I'm with you on this because since then, yeah, there's been some great World Series. Don't get me wrong. Like Atlanta and Houston, great World Series. Obviously, you and I, okay. Phillies and Houston, great World Series. Dodgers and Red Sox in 2018. Dodgers, Astros 2017. But man, I mean, going back 16, that 7-game series, Rajai Davis, the last call. Oh my goodness. I mean, just back and forth. It was incredible. So I think I'm with you. This is the most anticipated, most exciting since then for sure. So 2016, last time I feel like there's been a feeling around a World Series, around the entirety of the spectacle since. So it's been a few years, that's say 8 years, to say the least. I'm with you. 2016 was the last one. This is the most exciting one since then.
Yeah, so just to close out here before we get to the next storyline, there have been great World Series since then. Honestly, you had it where Cleveland and Chicago. Then you had the Astros and Dodgers with 2017. That was a great World Series. You could say whatever you want to say about the cheating and everything. It ended up being a 7-game, really good back and forth World Series. And then you had 2019. I mean, Houston and Washington. But I think the point we're trying to make here is that there's a buildup and anticipation around this. I'm not even talking about how these World Series turned out, because there are World Series here that have turned out really good, and we're really really exciting in the end. But going into this World Series. I think this is the most, anticipated one since 2016, and we both agree there. So, this question's kind of been floated around the last couple of days in the baseball world, but I figure we definitely need to talk about it. We have the two of the best players in the sport right now. You got Aaron Judge, 58 home runs this year, gonna win MVP. Shohei Ohtani, 59 and 54, gonna win MVP. Two of the best players in the sport. Who does this championship matter more for, Nick? Is it Judge, who has pretty much done everything in the Yankee uniform but win that coveted ring, that, big ring, or does this matter more for Shohei Ohtani, somebody who has, for the most part, pretty much done everything on the planet and more, maybe even more than what Aaron Judge has done so far? Whose legacy does this matter more for?
Dude, I'm still torn. I'm still torn on this question. It's so tough. It means so much to both of them. I have on my sheet, Judge or Ohtani, question mark, legacy, question mark, question mark. I can't figure it out. I'm gonna go. I've been debating up until like this moment, like who I'm gonna go with, because Ohtani, yeah, you add the World Series to his resume, it starts putting him up there in even more conversation, right? But does Judge need it a little bit more? Judge might need it a little bit more. Remember, he's had a great career, right? Like 2017, 2018, great years, right? Then he had 2019, 2020. He got injured a little bit. He also, the COVID year kind of set him back. Remember, he's 32 years of age right now. I mean, he's been pretty good since then. I mean, 60 home runs, MVP. I mean, the guy's been really good. But he missed a couple of those prime years, right? Like those prime years, 27, 28 years old. Could have elevated him a little more. Obviously, the COVID year hurt a little bit. He had some injury problems as well. I'm going to go slight edge Judge. Just a slight edge. I think he needs it a little bit more than Ohtani. Ohtani, I mean, is a unicorn. He can pitch and he can hit. The guy's the face of baseball. Judge right there, too. Both are Hall of Famers. I think Judge needs it a little bit more than Ohtani does. Ohtani is already in a land by himself. He adds a World Series to that. Fantastic, right? Absolutely fantastic. Judge needs to overcome some of these, postseason bites and rumors and narratives, right, that have been around him. The narrative around Judge, he really doesn't show up in the postseason. Well, now it's his opportunity. This is the first time Shohei's been in the postseason. I think we'll have more opportunities on that Dodger team too, probably with the Yankees and Judge too. But there's that narrative with Judge that he doesn't show up in the postseason. He's not prime for the big time, right? I'll go slight edge Judge because it'll quiet everything after that. The narrative will be, well, he's a World Series champion, so you can't really fault the guy. So I'll go very tough, slight. I mean, sliver to Judge.
Sliver. I like the sliver. Yeah. So I mean, we're in the same camp. It didn't take me that long to think about this. I just think that Nick, like, when it comes to being a Yankee, like it's such a big deal to win. And that now I think it's a little overdone with Judge a little bit. Yeah, because I mean Judge has done like just so much for that organization. I mean, literally has put that organization on his back, for the better part of his career. But like you said, he wins, he gets a ring. And especially if he has, because he's had kind of an up and down postseason so far, if he can have like a big World Series, I'm not even saying he has to win a World Series MVP, but if he has a big part in it, which I think he'll probably have to a certain extent, it's a bigger deal for Aaron Judge to win because of what it means to win in the pinstripes. It just does. It does. And it means more in that uniform than it does any other uniform. Not to say that it wouldn't be big for Ohtani's legacy, because it would be like, oh my gosh, what he's done on the mound and, at the plate, in multiple seasons during his career, and then doing this, we're coming off Tommy John 59, 54. Like if he does that and then wins a ring on top of that, that would be insane. But there is just that thing that you cannot escape when it comes to playing for the New York Yankees. And I have a little bit of this on my mind too, because I don't know about you. I just started watching the comeback on Netflix about the '04 Red Sox. I know I've seen already like, a million documentaries. I eat the Red Sox and Yankees rivalry from the early 2000s up for some reason. I know I'm weird. I
Nothing weird.
know.
It's not weird about that. Nothing weird about that.
Yeah, not weird, but like I don't know, like as many like documentaries and as many like highlights that I've watched from the early 2000s Yankees Red Sox series. I'm back watching the comeback on Netflix. Don't know if you checked it out. If not, you should. It's good so far. Max Sharp on episode 3. There's 3 episodes in the series. But anyway, so like I had that fresh on my mind. The whole Yankees, the whole buttoned up. You gotta win everything. You gotta win. So, but with that being said, like. It's true. Like you got to win when you're in New York. It just means more. 27 rings, going for 28 for the Yankees. So it just means more for Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yep, I'm totally with you. It's slight edge to Judge. It means a ton for both their legacies, but I think it means just a little bit more for Aaron Judge. I'm with you. Yeah, if you win those pinstripes, man, oh man, it's a big deal, and that could really cement him. Maybe they'll retire another number up there in New York. One of their 8 million numbers that they retire. They seem to just retire for anybody and everybody.
At some point, it's got to be a problem, right? Like you
Yeah.
can't retire every number.
Can you
and then,
unretire
like, what do you
numbers?
do?
I mean,
at some point they might have to, or you just move the franchise somewhere else and you start over.
Yeah.
You see how the Yankees are in behind.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, they destroyed Yankee Stadium. I mean, stupid thing to do, but they did it. All right. So I'll go first here on the last storyline before we get to X Factors, and then we'll predict who wins, how many games, and World Series MVP. This has been a big conversation.
Yeah.
I think over the course of, it's been a big conversation, the bigger part of the season, but especially since the Yankees have been very good this year. Would winning or losing this World Series, Nick, impact what happens in free agency for Juan Soto? And I'll start here. And someone made a good point. I think I was listening to the Baseball Tonight podcast earlier, and I think that Jake Peavy and Buster Olney were talking about this. And they say they think it does. I don't think it really matters if they win or lose. I think that even if they win, Nick, even if they do win the World Series, I still think the fans would want Juan Soto back so badly. He's had such a big part in the Yankees being as good as they have been this year. I mean, he just hit a Bedlam at the Bank type of home run, 5 days ago. You know what I mean? He just hit one like that. He's kind of he's Juan Soto. So I don't think it really does. I don't think if they win or if they lose. I think if they lose, I think he's like 130%. I think there's like a 99.9% chance that if they win, he's still coming back. I just think it's too much of a perfect marriage. I think Juan Soto is like born at this point to be a Yankee the rest of his career. I just think he's just got that aura. He's got the Soto shuffle. He loves that short porch out there. The stadium's perfect for him offensively. He looks really good in those pinstripes, Nick. I just don't think that them winning or losing this series impacts what shakes up in free agency. I think he's going to be a Yankee.
Yeah. I want to read a quote. He was asked about this not too long ago by the in a media gaggle. He said, quote, definitely every player wants to be happy where they're at. And at the end of the day, whenever you win, you're going to be really happy. So wherever you are, that you have a chance to win a championship, you're going to be excited to play for them. I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest mindset right now. See where's the best chance for that and go from there. Well, he's just playing in the World Series right now. You know what I mean? So the Yankees have a leg up. They're a competitive franchise. They're going to be in the mix for the next couple of seasons. I think their window might be a little smaller than maybe the Dodgers, but it seems like he enjoys being in New York. It just seems like the perfect marriage, right? You have the short porch out there and right. Offensively, that's going to help him out for sure. Remember, he's only 25 years of age. He's still very young. He's still very young, and he's already borderline Hall of Famer type of player. Like he's on that trajectory, if not there already. Already has a ring under his belt. So he's going for number 2. If they win, I think it definitely kind of solidifies he's back. If they lose, I don't know if it does too much anyway. The guy's playing in a World Series. It would have to go astronomically wrong for him to be like, maybe I don't want to be here anymore. Maybe this is our only chance, and I'm gonna jet. But it seems like for the most part, he's probably gonna go back to New York. Yeah, he'll probably test the market, see what's out there. Aaron Judge did a couple of years ago, right? Arson Judge to the Giants. Obviously, that didn't end up happening. So, I think he'll probably test the market like anybody else, but then ultimately, he'll end up back in New York. And there's the feeling out there that money's not as much of a factor. He might even take less to stay in New York. Who knows? But I think New York has the best chance to sign him. He's been there for a year. It just makes too much sense, and they're really good. They're playing in a World Series, so for him, it would probably be the best bet to stay in New York. And if they win, I don't think it's going to have too much weight if they win or lose the series.
Yeah. So we're on the same page. All right. Let's get the predictions.
Wait. Is that 3
what?
for 3 for us? Like,
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
wow,
we're
starting off
way
on
too much.
Wow, we must know baseball or something.
That's the shift, baby. That's what we do. That's what we do on a Friday night. And once again, as
night,
as Stocker said, no life for us. By the way, stick around. I haven't figured out. Follow me on Twitter as it says right there, right?
There it is.
Media underscore.
Should we change that to X? Wait. Should we change that to? I mean, it's not Twitter anymore. You know that, right?
Yeah, I hate X. I like Twitter better. But we'll talk about that. You're probably right. Professionally, you're probably right. But also stick around. Follow me on Twitter/X. Might be doing a game one recap. I'm either going to do it live on social media somewhere. I'll tweet it out, or I'm going to do it in some form. I'll probably, or at the very least, I'll put it on YouTube, and I'll have a YouTube game one recap and have that up in the morning for you, so you can hear my thoughts on game one. But besides that, Nick, let's get to predictions for the entire series before we get to previewing game one. Let's start with X factors. And Nick, I will start here. My X factors for each team. Dodgers, it's the bullpen. I think it's a pretty obvious one just because they're the only team that's really going to have a bullpen game. I think that was probably game 4 that they would do a bullpen game. I just think that that's a game that the Yankees will probably be obviously take a game at a time, but that blows up in the Dodgers' face, Nick. It's tough. You take it a game at a time, but it's tough. If the Yankees can get to that Dodger bullpen, in that game and just in general, the Dodgers bullpen has been really good. And, the pitching overall for the Dodgers is something that I think a lot of us are watching this fall classic. So Dodgers bullpen for me on the Dodgers side. And then Yankees wise, I'm going starting pitching. And I'm going young starting pitching. I trust Cole. I trust Rodon actually too. And I know it's recency bias because he's pitched well lately. But I'm going off of my feel with Rodon right now. I feel like you're going to see a good Rodon in this series. Hill and Clark Schmidt, talented younger pitchers. I don't think Schmidt's that young anymore. I think he's 28, so not even that young. But either way, I don't know what necessarily you're going to get from those guys. They've been. I think Hill had like one start in the DS, and he was okay through about like 4 or 5 innings. I don't know. It's just something that I'm watching for because I think if the Dodgers can really get to those guys in games 3 and 4, then I think that's a big deal. So I think the starting pitching for them, and I don't know what's going to be happening with Nestor Cortez. I mean, I think he'll be okay for this series, right? I'm pretty sure he's going to be healthy, but I don't think is he going to start? I don't think he's going to start. I think he'd be coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, it's that's iffy. I'm not too sold on the Nestor Cortez thing. Yeah. At this point in the World Series. Yeah.
So I think those guys right there. I think if the Dodgers can get to those, and get into their bullpen early, I think is a pretty big deal. So it's really generic, generally pitching for both teams. But I'm saying Dodgers bullpen for the Dodgers, and the Yankees, they're young starting pitching or younger. So those are my
Yeah.
X factors. What about you?
So I'm a little concerned with Rodon. So I'll go Yankees. Rodon's an X factor for me. So listen, they're going to start him in game 2. They've already announced that he's going to start game 2, and it's a little interesting because Rodon's much better at home, right? He's got a 3.11 ERA at home. His splits on the road, he's got a 4.69 ERA on the road, and they switched it up. Schmidt's better on the road than at home. So I'm curious with that decision. From Aaron Boone. So Rodon, I think, is an X factor in game 2. Is he going to be able to pitch well on the road? Time change out in Los Angeles, lights bright. That's a concern. That's just something to watch. I think Rodon in game 2 is going to be an X factor. Obviously, if you win game 1, it's huge. But if Rodon doesn't pitch well in game 2, say the Dodgers take game 1, you're down 2-0, heading back to New York. That's not a fun spot you want to be in. So I think Rodon is an X factor in this series, and it could swing the series either way if he gives you a good start or not. So Rodon's an X factor for me. I'm not as sold on him as you are. I think he is somebody you got to watch. Look at those splits, home and away. I'm just saying they could have switched it. They could have go game 2, game 3. I don't know. Aaron Boone's picking it. So Rodon's an X factor for me in this series. It could swing the whole thing. Okay. So there's that with the Yankees. I'm so with you on the Dodgers and their bullpen, right? Evan Phillips, I believe, he is out. He is out.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not even pitching that's a big loss.
Yes.
A big loss out of their bullpen games for the Yankees, and it's a starting pitching too. What do you get out of Flaherty? What do you get out of Walker Buehler, Yamamoto? Oh my goodness, that's a concern for me. Against this high-powered Yankee lineup, hit a lot of home runs, right? That's a concern. But we know how good the Dodger offense. So I'm with you there. But I want to bring in another X factor on the side of the Dodgers. It's Tommy Edman, man. Tommy Edman has been lighting it up, right? Like he has been fantastic. Led all players in the LCS with 11 hits, tied Corey Seager's NLCS record with 11 RBIs. Okay, but when a lefty's on the mound, oh man, he's got an OPS 1299. I mean, the guy's all over the place. It's unbelievable. And then if it goes against righties, a 523 mark. It drops significantly, that on base plus slugging. He went 7 for 12, 4 extra base hits against lefties in the LCS. Tommy Edman against some of the lefties that he'll see out of the bullpen from the Yankees. Can he take advantage? That's an X factor. Can he come up with that big hit like he did in the NLCS? Right. So I'm very curious to see how that all shakes out. Tommy Edman, X factor for me on the Dodgers side offensively. Rodon, X factor for me as well on the Yankees side. And then obviously we're both in agreement with the pitching of the Dodgers.
All right, give me who wins, how many games, and give me your World Series MVP.
Well, first of all, I can't have the Yankees win this series. Cannot.
Yeah, what does that even mean, though? Who do you think is going to win? I don't want
not
that.
have the Yankees win this series, and I don't think they're going to win this.
Okay, I believe it.
I believe the Dodgers are going to win this in 6. 6 games, the Dodgers will win it. It'll be a close one. This is going to be a fun series. I think they win it in 6. Offense is going to be too much for the Yankees. And Ohtani, he's going to add to his legacy, man. Not another, but another MVP. But this time the World Series. Another World Series. He's going to add an MVP in the World Series. World Series MVP will be Shohei Ohtani.
Wow. Yeah, look, man. I'm that's a good I like your prediction there, but I think that would be crazy if Ohtani were World Series MVP. I'm going, and I think you kind of know where I'm going with this. We agreed way too much in the opening. Well, we're still in the open. Actually, this might be our longest open ever, but it doesn't matter. It's the World Series.
World Series.
Yeah, I'm going Yankees in 7. I have gone back and forth on this because Dodgers do have home field advantage, but I like the Yankees starting pitching just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I think the Dodgers starting pitching will be solid, but I just think the Yankees starting pitching. I like and I almost picked Garrett Cole to be World Series MVP. I actually did pick him. I was thinking about picking Chisholm because I think Chisholm's just like due. And he's been, in the regular season when he got traded over from Miami to New York, he's been really good in pinstripes.
Love Jazz.
I think Jazz could win, but I'm going to go Cole. I'm gonna go Cole. I see like a Steven Strasburg type of 2019 type of World Series from Garrett Cole. I think that there was a narrative a couple of years ago around Cole that he was soft in big games and stuff like that, and that he almost did kind of prove it right for a second. But if you look at Cole's numbers overall in the postseason over the years, dating back to like Houston and even Pittsburgh, pretty good overall postseason numbers. He's got a sub-3 ERA. He's a pretty good postseason pitcher. Can feel like, Cole dealing with the injuries. I think he dealt with multiple. I forget. But either way, he missed a couple of months this year. I think I'm feeling a big series from Cole. I know how cheesy it was at the free agent at the press conference. Oh, look at me. I held up the sign. I was a Yankees fan growing up. I don't know. This feels like a Garrett Cole that is going to have a big series. And I think starting pitching just going to prove a little more, in this series over the Dodgers. And I like Garrett Cole. Yankees in 7, Garrett Cole wins MVP. Jazz Chisholm still has a big series, though. Jazz is a big series.
Okay.
And the Yankees win in LA in Game 7, and they bring the championship back to the Bronx. You have to go to the parade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I'll mention it. Yeah, if the Yankees win, I have to go to the parade. I've kept the pact. I keep my word. Buddy of mine, we're still friends since middle school. We have a pact. He's basically all New York fan except for football. And I'm all Philadelphia. So we have a pact. If one of our teams wins a championship, that person has to go to the parade and wear that gear and the paraphernalia the whole day and watch them parade down whatever street it may be. And I have no interest in going to Broadway whatsoever. Not one bit. Now he did this. He already lost one to me when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. He had to go freezing cold up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He paid the dues. So if they somehow find a way to win, I will go. I will pay my dues and pay up my bet and be there. But I have no interest in going to that stupid street they call Broadway in New York, Rat City. I can't stand it. Okay? I can't stand New York. I hate New York more than anything. Hate it.
Damn.
Hate it. Hate
Yankees
the fans
don't
too.
like you right now. Wow. Yeah, your best friend too. He's a Yankees fan, man. That's gonna be
thank goodness. Wait. Thank goodness. No Subway series. No stupid Subway series.
Yeah, you would. I know you would hate that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so you're not gonna get it. So
go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers. Look, I just want a great series. I want a great series. That's what I want from this fall classic. I think that's what we all want at the end of the day. I think that we want it. It's been built up, and I think we want to see an all-time series, and hopefully we'll get it. So let's preview Game 1 tonight, Nick. Meat and potatoes. I had some chili. I had a slice of leftover pizza. I'm feeling good. Had sour cream on that chili. It's a good combo, by the way. Just saying, good combo.
There you go.
So yeah, what about you? Do you have anything? For
I had flounder. Fried flounder.
Flounder? What, like, is it like a seafood type of thing?
Seafood night.
Flounder. Seafood night. That sounds kind of dope. Actually, that sounds very bougie.
Yeah, fried. Well, it's not that much. But fried flounder and some mac and cheese, some French fries. Yeah,
nice. I like it. Sounds delicious. But you know what sounds more delicious? That's weird. Why would I say that? But previewing Game 1 tonight of the World Series, Nick, 8:08 p.m. on Fox, right? It's Fox. Yeah, it's Fox. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
Fox. Yeah, it's Fox with Joe. I assume it's Joe Davis and John Smoltz in the call.
It is. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but I want to say one thing. I'm not even faulting Joe Davis. I guess this is how the cookie crumbles. But like, I wonder, that must be like a tough dynamic to be Joe Davis and to have to call the team that because he is the Dodgers play-by-play guy for the most part when he doesn't have to do other gigs because there's football and he does other stuff too. Must be a tough gig, man. I don't fault Joe Davis for that. That's just a tough gig because in your mind you're calling the game. It's like, gotta make sure I turn that Dodger biasness off. Must be tough.
Yeah, probably a little tough. Yeah, because he's the Dodgers play-by-play for the full season, but he's also the main national guy for Fox in baseball.
He's the Joe Buck guy now.
Yes, he's essentially taking the Joe Buck role. And, he's the Dodger play-by-play. He's now calling the game for the World Series. I'm sure he'll be fine. He is fantastic at what he does. I don't think there'll be any bias or anything at all. He is a fantastic. I think he's one of the best in the biz right now, play-by-play wise. So I don't think there'll be a problem there. But yeah, probably a little tough for him. Probably a little bit.
Yeah. No. I just wanted to mention that. But by the way, I mean he's done a great job because he's called Dodgers and Mets. I think he called maybe some Dodgers, Padres too.
Yeah.
So game 1 is tonight. I'm gonna grab the other lineups real quick just to tell you what these Yankees and Dodgers lineups are gonna look like. It's gonna be Garrett Cole on the mound for the Yanks, and it is going to be Jack Flaherty for the Dodgers. So Dodgers lineup tonight, it's going to be Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy, Kike Hernandez, Will Smith, Gavin Lux, and Tommy Edman. He was NLCS MVP, right? Batting ninth. So there is the Dodgers lineup. And then the Yankees lineup, Nick, is Gleyber Torres leading off, followed by Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Jazz Chisholm Jr., Anthony, former Cub Rizzo, Anthony, don't call me Jeter Volpe, and then Austin, and two more. Austin, don't call me Vernon Wells, and then Alex, I used to be a Red Sox, Verdugo. So those are your lineups with Garrett Cole on the mound for the Yankees and Jack Flaherty. I don't know, Nick. Give me your, what do you think? Predictions for tonight, keys for tonight. What are you thinking about game 1 in Los Angeles?
Yeah, this is fantastic. This is a fantastic matchup. You got Cole and Flaherty on the mound. He's got to be better, right? I mean, in 3 postseason starts, 1 and 2, 7.08 ERA, says it right here. As I have some of the lineups up from, previous, there was a couple previous ones, but all the way to the left is tonight's lineup. Yeah. I'm very curious to see how Flaherty pitches, man. How deep is he going to go into the ball game? Garrett Cole's been pretty good this postseason. They're going to need the offense to step up. If Flaherty can't give you much tonight, that's the X factor tonight specifically. This ball game. So I'm very curious to see how this shakes out between Flaherty and Cole, because I think Cole I think goes 7 tonight. I think you're going to see 7 innings out of Cole tonight. That's my prediction. You'll see 7 out of Cole. Flaherty, I think goes, I'll say 5. I'll say Flaherty goes 5. It gives up about 4.
Sounds like a Yankees win.
I think the Dodgers come away with a win.
Late
in this game.
Late
game heroics. Okay, so I think the Dodgers do take game 1, but I think it's going to come down to the wire. Last couple innings.
Do we get a walk-off?
Very possible. Very possible. I'm not going to walk off.
This might be good for one of my bets then. We'll get that in a second.
All right. How about you?
I'll say this, piggybacking off what you said. I think it's just, I think it's really important for whichever team, to set the tone. I think, for the Yankees, I think it's important to get to Flaherty early because I think Flaherty against, I want to say it was against who did they play? San Diego. I want to say it was San Diego where he got rocked pretty bad. And I think it's important for the Yankees lineup to not let him get into a rhythm. I would also say the same for the Dodgers. I think it's pretty simple. It's game 1 of the series. You got to set the tone. You can't let either of these guys get into a rhythm early and get into, and I kind of talked about this in just the predictions, like get into that bullpen. Get into either, and I know both have good bullpens, but that's besides the point, though. You don't let either of the starters get into a rhythm, get into that bullpen, because then that affects days after, right? That affects game 2 for tomorrow, which is also 8:08 tomorrow. So I think I like, because I'm going Yankees, and I think I like Yankees game 1. Like I said, I think Cole's going to be World Series MVP, so I think I'm with you. Cole maybe goes like 7 innings, maybe 1 run ball, and I think the Yankees get like a 5-1 win. 5-1 win. So that's my prediction for game 1. World Series bets, Nick. We're going to go 2 each. Mine are from FanDuel. I will start. And both of these, well, one of these goes with what we were talking about, but I'm going to go pitcher to record most strikeouts in the World Series. Going Garrett Cole plus 270. Everyone thinks I'm a Garrett Cole fan now because I'm saying these things. Not necessarily true.
Why don't you get his jersey at this point? Just get his jersey.
Settle down. Here we go. Oh, it was Randy Johnson. Now it's Garrett Cole. No,
Switching pitchers every year.
I just think Garrett Cole's going to have a big year, Maybe on track to the Hall of Fame. It's a possibility, okay? We'll get into that in a second, too. My second bet, kind of going with what I had said to you a couple minutes ago. Any one of these games to end in a walk-off in the World Series, plus 110. I think if this is going to be...
That might cash tonight.
Yeah, for your sakes, okay? For my narrative, no, we don't want that, okay? Maybe game 4 when Chisholm walks it off or something, okay? I sound like a Yankees fan. It's bad.
You really do.
I know it's
aggravating.
I know. Well, there's a secret I got for you. I've told you probably all fair before. I know you know the secret, but we're not gonna talk about it. Not on air right now. Maybe yeah. So no, I'm not a Garrett Cole fan. Well, I am a fan. I'm a fan of him as a pitcher, but I'm not a fan.
Okay? Pick a side, Fran.
What do you mean? My side is that I'm a baseball fan who likes pitching.
Hold up. You're thinking out loud. You're going, I am a fan. I am a fan. I'm not a fan. Pick a side, would you?
I'm not a fan of him like I'm a fan of Bryce Harper. You know what I mean? I'm not even a fan of him like I'm a fan of Pedro Martinez. Not even like that. Okay? I'm a fan of pitching.
Sound a little different today during this show. Big fan. MVPs.
Right.
He's winning rings. He's winning MVPs. My goodness. 7 runs, a 1-run ball. My gosh. Get him a jersey right now. Go to LA. Fly him out there. Jeez.
I mean, I'm down for that. I'm down to watch the World Series.
I will go. I will go too. I can't even lie.
Yeah, I know you would. All right, Nick. Well, give me your bets.
All right. I think there's gonna be a lot of home runs hitting this series. I'm gonna go Judge to hit the most home runs in this series at plus 320. I think Judge can hit the most home runs in this series, even though it's gonna be a loss for the Yankees. I still think he's gonna come around, hit some home runs. It's not gonna matter. Kind of like, was it game 3 or 4 in the LCS when he hit a home run? Finally, a big time home run. Didn't matter. They lost the game anyway. So that Judge hits a lot of meaningless home runs in this series. Okay, Mookie Betts plus 700 with the most hits in this series. I think Mookie has a big series. I think he'll have the most hits in this series. I think Ohtani might be like 1 behind him. But Ohtani will have some more impactful hits in the World Series 2024. Those are my 2 bets. Judge hitting most home runs in this series just because the LA pitching, it's a little iffy. The bullpen and starting pitching. Mookie Betts, I think, will have the most hits.
I like my bets a little more. Sorry.
Of course.
So how many players, Nick, in this World Series? Because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
In here. A lot of them in here. How many players in this series do you think could be on track to the Hall of Fame? I think there's a couple of locks in here already, but I also think there's some guys that, with potential. I don't know. What do you think?
I think there are 7 possible Hall of Famers in this series. 8 if you were to include Clayton Kershaw, who's hurt.
Right.
8. So I will go. If we're including Kershaw, I'm saying 8. I will say Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Stanton, Garrett Cole, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Clayton Kershaw.
Okay. Yeah. So I know what you're saying about Kershaw, but I mean, he's technically not
possible.
Oh yeah. I mean, Kershaw's like what? Kershaw's a Hall of Famer already. So I mean, I don't disagree with you there, but I mean, he's not in this series though. So no. I'm with you, but at the same time, just for purposes of who's going to be on the field this week and next 2 weeks.
Okay, so yeah. If we're not counting Kershaw, he's injured. That's why he's on the roster still, but he's on the IL.
Right. So I'm gonna go. So I think I'll go one by one here, real quick. So Ohtani, I think as long as he can stay healthy, it's an obvious one. I think Freddie Freeman is all but a lock soon. As long as Freeman can stay healthy the next couple of years, if he gives you another good couple of years, he's a Hall of Famer. Mookie, I think the same type of thing. He's 32. As long as Mookie can stay healthy, I think he's on a track to getting to Cooperstown on the Dodgers. I think Buster Olney brought this up on his podcast. I think depending on if this guy, can continue to be the type of pretty productive offensive catcher that he is. I think Will Smith is like kind of on track. Potentially. I didn't say he was. I'm just saying, look at his numbers. Potential.
Mr. Cooperstown himself going Will Smith.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a guy in that organization all the time that maybe shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. We don't have to talk about it right now. You know what I mean? The great, we got the cold facts. That's all I'm gonna say. I always got the cold facts.
Don't say it. Stop.
I didn't say it.
Don't ruin a great show, and you're gonna go there.
I didn't say it. Okay. So Will Smith, he's averaged what 20. I'm looking at it right now. 22 homers over the last 4 seasons. He just 121 OPS plus. Depending, and he's white.
You're reaching.
I'm just saying it potentially. He's 29. I'm saying if he can give you like 4 to 5 more years on this track, you never know.
Reach alert. Reach alert from Francisco Rojas.
They're talking about real Muto maybe be on track to be on the track of Hall of Fame. It's not that much different. Like Will Smith's putting up like pretty much like the same type of offense that JT has put up. Settle down. All right. I didn't say he was. I'm saying it's a possibility. We're just looking at potential possibility. Okay.
Yeah, no,
on the Yankee side, Judge. Okay. Yep. Judge, as long as he can say the theme is health. Okay.
Yep.
Theme is health. Judge, Soto, obviously. Soto is on the all-time 100 WAR Hall of Fame trajectory. Giancarlo Stanton. I think with Giancarlo, it's really. How many home runs is he at right now? He is at 429. I think if he gets to 500, man, I'm pretty sure he's a lock. And he is 34 right now. Look.
He could.
Yeah. That health has been a big thing for him, too.
Yep.
I think if he can get to 500 or even really close. Fred McGriff just got in.
Yep.
All 493. I think if Stanton can get really close and if he can get to that elusive 500 number, I think Stanton is a Hall of Famer. So that, and then Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is another one where I think he is, I want to say he's like 32, 33 right now. Cole is 34. I apologize. 34. But if he can, maybe do a little bit of like, a teammate I used to play with, like a Verlander, and be good into his late 30s, if he can kind of, either reinvent himself or just keep himself as healthy as possible into his late 30s and give you like 3 or 4 more elite years. Cole's another one, man. Cole's at, he has a Cy Young. He's got over 2,200 strikeouts. He's got he's got a 130 ERA plus for his career. He's, like I said, he's got the Cy Young. He's got the All-Stars. He's got a bunch of, top 5, top 10 Cy Young finishes. I think Cole's right there too. So I would say 4 for the Yankees right now that are potentially. And I think 4 for the Dodgers, not including Kershaw, maybe Will Smith. There's always one guy that we want to argue about. Always one guy. Will Smith, future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, no shot. No shot. It's such a reach by you. But listen, there's a ton of firepower, a ton of star power in this series. So we'll give it to that. It's gonna be a fun one, that's for sure. All right, I'll transition. I'm gonna transition.
Yeah, no, I got it. Look, it's 7:51. We gotta get to the.
We gotta get rolling. Yeah. All right, quickly. All right, we're gonna do a blind ranking. Just something real quick for you. Let me pull it up. All right, so because it's the World Series, I wanted to go a 5-year stretch of World Series winners. Okay. Give me the best 5 teams. So I have 5 teams from these years, and you got to rank the teams. I'm going to give you team one by one. World Series winners from the years 2011 to 2015. Okay?
Wow. Okay.
Give me the best team to the worst team of the World Series winners. Okay? You ready? I'm not going to give them any order either.
Okay.
All right. The 2013 Boston Red Sox.
So I am going to put the 2013 Boston Red Sox. I will put them. I want to put them 4th.
Okay. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this pans out. All right. The 2011 St. Louis Cardinals.
I'm gonna put them fifth.
Fifth. Ooh, they're going 5 for you? Really?
Yeah.
All right. So 5. So at 4, you have the 2013 Red Sox. Okay. And at number 5, you have the 11 Cards.
Yeah.
Next team. Okay. The 2012 San Francisco Giants.
I'm gonna put them second.
Second. Okay. So the 2012 Giants. They're going to go second. Okay. Next team. The 2015 Kansas City Royals.
First.
Ooh, you're going them first. Number 1. 15 Royals. All right. Final one would be the 2014 Giants. So
Yeah, they're going third. Yeah.
Right. So let me see how you like this list.
Yeah, let's see.
For you.
Oh, look at that. Oh, you gotta list it out for me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm typing. I'm typing as we go.
Yeah, I like this though. I like how you did it.
All right.
Yeah, I like my list. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah.
Why'd you go that way? Why'd you go that route?
A little bit of biasness with 2011 Cardinals, just because they shouldn't have even been there. Man, but what's funny about this stretch? I don't think there were I like that Royals team because I think I don't want to say unconventionally won, but they didn't have any big 40 home run guy.
Yeah,
Did a
Alex
lot with
Gordon.
a lot of small ball, a lot of analytics were being brought into the game. So you were seeing different type of baseball teams win. Not to say different baseball teams, but baseball has been in a transition period. So I like that team because who do they have in the back end of that bullpen? I want to say oh my gosh, he was nasty. Wade Davis, right? Wade Davis was nasty. They had a couple other guys back there. I really like that Royals team. They did it with a lot of defense, a lot of small ball. I don't know. I really like that Royals team. So I'm going Royals 1. And then I don't know, the 13 Red Sox. I don't even remember the 13 Red Sox, to be honest. I don't even remember who was on that team. That was I think Victorino was on that team. Yeah, I don't know. Some of those teams were they were, don't get me wrong, they deserve to win the World Series, but I don't know. Didn't stick out to me. A lot of that Red Sox team with those Giants teams, good teams, not I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much for the 09 Yankees or the the 17 Astros or the 18 Red Sox. I don't know. That stretch right there, I like the Royals from that stretch, but nothing really jumped out to me. So I think it's the Royals, and I think everybody else, you can kind of do whatever you want with them.
All right. That's a blind ranking for this week.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, you didn't stump me this time. I felt good about my ranking. Earnshaw always tries to get me with stuff. I don't know. This is what he does. But we'll be back, and I'll give one for Nick. I'll give one for Nick. Got to get him back. So that is going to do it for this episode of the Shift, episode 70. I have Yankees in 7. Nick has Dodgers in 6. Nick's going to see everybody at the parade. Make sure you're there. We will be back next week. I guess with an update on the World Series, since I think we all feel like this is going to be a long series. So we'll talk about where the Fall Classic is at that point. So make sure you are looking out for our Twitter. We'll keep everybody updated on everything that is going on with the Shift and everything else. So that is going to do it for us tonight. Everyone enjoy Game 1. Thank you for staying tuned in for the real post-game show, the pre-game show, the Shift for the World Series. That's going to do it for us. Talk to you guys soon.